What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel. Thank you guys for being here. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button for me. Welcome to another episode of Versus. And I got a good one for you guys this time. This is the Urban EDC F5.5. This is the blue micarta acid etched version. These are currently sold out, but there is a murdered out edition in stock at Urban EDC. It's same exact knife, just everything's blacked out. It's G10 scales though instead of micarta. Well, in this episode of Versus, we're going to put the F5.5 up against the Kizer Mini SHeepdog. And I'm also going to bring in the Kizer SHeepdog also on this video. Because believe it or not, these knives have a lot in common. They really do. Blade shape, deployment, detents, you know, even you wouldn't think it by looking at these two knives, but the blade lengths are almost identical. It's just that the F5.5 has more handle. If I hold this up here, you can see the blades are almost the same size. The F5.5 has a 2.7 inch blade, and the SHeepdog has a 2.63 inch blade. So almost the same blade length on these two knives, but you get much more handle with the F5.5. So the blade to handle ratio would definitely go to the Mini SHeepdog. And go ahead and pull out the regular SHeepdog. So the F5.5 is kind of like right in the middle, right, between those two knives. But definitely closer in size to the Mini SHeepdog, especially when it comes to the blade length. The full-size SHeepdog has a 3.3 inch blade. So just to show you the difference, I wanted to pull this out. But these knives are similar in hand, ergonomically. The F5.5 is thicker than the Mini SHeepdog. Let's see here, probably a couple millimeters thicker, I would say. F5.5 also has more premium materials. M390 blade, titanium pocket clip, titanium hardware, titanium liners. The Mini SHeepdog is stainless steel liners, 154 cm blade steel, micarta handle. This was the Raylight special edition. This one I believe is sold out, but there are lots of other micarta versions of the Mini SHeepdog out there, so there's no shortage of them. Lots of different options to choose from with the Mini SHeepdog. And like I said at the beginning, there's only one of these available for sale now, the murdered out edition. Both of these knives have absolutely amazing action. Great detent on the F5.5. It's unfellable. But what I'm going to tell you now is that although this is a great detent, this Mini SHeepdog has a better detent. It really does. It's a snappier detent. It's unfellable also, but it just flies out there. That detent on the Mini SHeepdog is perfect. I mean, it couldn't get any better than it is. And it's drop shutty, very smooth action. The F5.5 has smoother action. It is, you know, glassier filling on the bearings. Both are on bearings. The F5.5 is definitely glassier on the drop and smoothness of the open, but the Kizer has a better detent than the F5.5 does. And it's very drop shutty also. Not quite as drop shutty as the F5.5. Some of that could do with the blade also. You have a heavier blade, a thicker blade with the F5.5. There's a good look at see the difference in the length there. Very similar blade lengths. The blade thickness on the Mini SHeepdog is 110 thousandths. And on the F5.5, the blade thickness is, we're going to check that one, probably about 150, 160 be my guess. 150 thousandths on the F5.5. On the weight between these two, very similar, which is surprising with how much thicker this blade is. I think it's the stainless steel liners give the SHeepdog the added weight. The F5.5, 3.2 ounces. Mini SHeepdog, 2.4 ounces. So it is actually quite a bit lighter, 2.5 ounces. It's thinner, it's lighter. Action-wise, man, it's hard. This one's just got it's a different feel. It's a glassy, super like effortless drop. You know what I mean? It's almost like a controlled hydraulic feel to it. It feels really good on the F5.5. The Kizer's just freer. The Mini Sheepdog just has a freer filling. It's not as glassy smooth, but it's fantastic anyway. And when you compare the prices of these two knives, this knife is a unicorn knife for a lot of people. It may be a grill knife, the F5.5, especially this version. At my understanding, it took like a year for these to finally get made and sent out for the pre-orders. And then they dropped some additional ones on Urban EDC, and they sold out pretty quickly. And this knife was like $230. I think it was $230 originally. I think they've gone up to $250 now. You can pick up a Mini Sheepdog from $60 to, depending on what version you go to, it can go up to $100. There's a fat carbon and 20 CV version that's like $180. But there's lots of different variations of the Mini Sheepdog out there. They do make the Mini Sheepdog with a flipper also, without a hole. I wouldn't recommend that one personally unless you like flippers. If you're a flipper person and you don't like hole deployment, then go with flipper. But, you know, in my opinion, you're better off with the non-flipper. There is a Richlight version. It's like a Richlight micarta handle with a black blade, 154 cm. And it has, like this one does, it has a removable flipper. This has a little tab that you put a screw through, and you can have a flipper or take the flipper off. But for the money, catch them on sale about $62, I think. Regular, I think they're $69.99. $230 to $250. You know, this is going to be much more. People are going to have many more people are going to have access to this knife than this knife, just because of the cost and obviously the availability. This knife would be an excellent substitute for the F5.5. Let's talk about the ergos. The ergos on the F5.5 are truly amazing. They are excellent. It's comfortable back here in the normal grip, but right here choked up with this forward finger choil and having your thumb out here on this jimping, this is a ergonomic perfection for a medium size hand anyway. For my hand, this is so good. It's just such a good knife. It's not really a 50-50 choil on this one, it's just a finger choil cut into the blade. On the Sheepdog, about the same, but you do have a choil there. 4-finger grip on the Mini Sheepdog. I can still get all 4 fingers on there in the normal grip. You see how much I got left in this one. Very similar. This has the forward finger choil also. If you get the non-flipper version or the removable flipper version, then you can choke up here and just feels fantastic in hand. It's thinner, so for me, I think the ergos are a little better on the F5.5, but the ergos on the Mini Sheepdog, to be such a small knife, they are fantastic. They're really, really good. Yeah, really good ergos. I mean, this is a small knife, right? You can carry this little knife in your 5th pocket. This one you can't. This one's too big for that. And but this could be a primary carry for me. I carry this by itself all the time. It's that good. It's big enough for me to get everything I need to do done. And, you know, it's lightweight, 2.5 ounces. Great knife. And Kizer's 154 cm is fantastic. It takes a great edge and it holds it for a long time. Very, very well done. I have not sharpened the F5.5 or this M390, so I can't speak on that. Considering most people say this is made by Riat, I'm going to assume that it's got a good heat treat on it, but I cannot confirm that. I have no experience sharpening this knife, so I doubt I ever will sharpen it. It's not something I'm probably going to have as a user. This will probably end up being more of a safe queen for me, or just something I use for size comparisons and videos. I love this knife. I think it looks so good. Such a good looking knife. And I love this knife. This one looks really good too, and this thing is fantastic. Considering you can buy 4 of these, if you get them for $60, you can get 4 of these for what one of those costs. I mean, it's hard to argue it, guys. Makes a great user knife. You don't have to worry about beating it up. It has ridiculously good action. It has a better detent than the F5.5. That's the thing that stands out the most to me. This has a much snappier detent. I mean, that blade just flies out of there. This has a great detent too, but the Kizer is better. It's just a smoother feeling on this. It's hard to put it into words what I feel here. It's just so glassy, just like it's on air. There's no bearings or anything. The blade's just kind of like floating on air. This, you can tell it's on bearings. Has that Kizer feel to it. If you're familiar with mini Kizer knives and the way their bearings feel, it has that feel to it. It's not a bad thing. It's just different, but very drop shotty. For the money, it's hard to beat a mini Sheepdog, guys. I love this little knife. I carry it all the time. I'd love to get the one with fat carbon and 20 CV at some point in time in the future. And it would probably become a safe queen also. But so that's going to wrap it up, guys. I will link both the knives below. I'll link Urban EDC. You'll have to look and see which ones they have in stock. And I'll just link White Mountain knives with the Sheepdog and the mini Sheepdogs. If you're wanting one of these, you can't swing one of these, it's not in your budget, the F5.5, or you can't find it, give the mini Sheepdog a try. It'll surprise you. It really, really will. If you haven't ever tried a mini Sheepdog, I highly recommend it. Such a good knife. So is the full-size Sheepdog. It's just a bigger, more cumbersome, larger knife. If you like a larger knife, then try the regular Sheepdog. But you can't go wrong with either one. And for the price, man, yeah. I would say the mini Sheepdog is a better deal than the F5.5 for the quality of the build, the action, the ergos, the fit and finish. Yeah, for 60 bucks on sale, can't go wrong. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.